Let me tell you one thing I did when I turned 30. I stopped apologizing for my standards. I stopped shrinking to make people comfortable. I stopped accepting maybes and I guess as responses into my life. Your 20s, yeah, those are probably for figuring out. Your 30s, however, those are for protecting what you figured out in your 20s. And that starts with non-negotiables that you need to have in your 30s. The things that protect your peace, your time, your energy, and most importantly, your future. Because let's be honest, you can't build a life you love if you're still negotiating the things that matter the most. What if I told you you didn't have to choose between the business and the relationship, between the money and the life, between being ambitious and being feminine? You can have it all. This is Kimmy Unfiltered, where we say what everyone's thinking but won't say out loud. If you're in your 30s or you're about to be, you've had this term thrown around. Have your non-negotiables, know your worth, do not settle. But here's what nobody tells you. Your non-negotiables aren't just the things that you don't tolerate. They are about what you require to thrive. The big difference is when I was in my 20s, my non-negotiables were things like, don't cheat on me, don't lie to me, have a job. But in my 30s, my non-negotiables are about creating the conditions for the life that I'm building right now. They're not defensive, they're strategic, and that's the shift that I want you to make today. So I'm going to walk with you the non-negotiables that you need to have in your 30s. And no, not the Instagram motivational quotes, the real non-negotiables you need. I'm going to break them into 3 categories: time, relationship, and future. Let's start with time. Your mornings are yours. And no, I do not care if you're married, single, searching, kids, family, responsibilities. Your mornings are yours. Full stop. The first hour or two, if you can, no scrolling, no demands, no email, no urgents. There's nothing urgent in the first hour of your day. That's the hour that you dedicate to fill your energy, and only then are you able to actually show up for other people. My version of filling my cup is moving my body. The first hour every day, I'm in the gym. After my cup is filled, that's when I'm available for everybody else in my life. And this is not something you can start day one. You have to train this muscle. But the moment you perfect this, everything in your life changes, because you learn that you are your own priority above anybody else. And if you do not prioritize yourself, nobody's going to treat you as a priority like you would on your own. This is going to be a little bit of a hard pill to swallow. You need to have a hard stop time. Listen, the hustle culture lied to all of us. Yes, I've been a victim to that too. Working 16 hours a day does not make you successful. It makes you exhausted and miserable. So here's what I want you to do. Figure out your schedule, figure out your priority, and set a hard stop time. If you don't have a strict cutoff time, work will always expand and you'll keep taking more and more onto your plate until there's no more room for you to give. And then what's the point of building all this big life if you actually have no time to actually live it? Non-negotiable number 3, protect your time and your energy. It's not just about saying no. It's about saying no and without any explanation. Can you do this? No, I can't. And that does not mean, no, I can't, I'm busy, I'm sorry. You don't have to give an explanation. You don't have to apologize. No is a freaking full sentence. And if and when they push back, that will tell you exactly how they value your time and energy and you as a person in their life. And the best part is it says more about them than it is about you. And I know that can be a little bit hard for us women because we are conditioned to be sympathetic, to apologize, to over-explain, to promise the future. It's a muscle. You have to learn to say no. And it's beautiful. You should try it. So in your 30s, if anything, learn to stand for yourself. Learn to freaking stand up and just say no. So let's talk about the non-negotiables in the relationships. Here's one thing I need you to know. If you're in a relationship or you're searching, one of the criteria you need to have is your partner, whoever that is, he, she, they, doesn't really matter, has to actively support your ambitions. That's a non-negotiable. This doesn't mean they don't actively complain about it. I mean they actively support it. You want to start a bakery? They're there learning on how to start a bakery, create a lease, finding the best brick and mortars in town. This means celebrating your wins, regardless big or small, actively cheering you on, asking about the progress of your day, making room for your stress, because yes, that is gonna happen. And never, ever, I'm gonna repeat this, never, ever make you feel like you have to choose between your ambitions and the relationship. And if your current partner or your future spouse sees your ambition in competition with the relationship, You're just not in the right relationship. It's better to know it sooner than you end up 10, 20 years later with regret and resentment. I thought sometimes you had to choose one or the other. But when I met my husband, he saw what I was doing and he was like, oh, I actually like what you're doing. Are you able to teach me how to do YouTube? He never ended up learning, but he was interested about it. And that is kind of how he even won me in the first place. And now that I'm building a fragrance brand, he asked about Elevate like he is our first baby, which in most reality, that is our baby. Non-negotiable number 5, your friendships need to be reciprocal. If you're always the one reaching out, the one always planning for things, the one that's always showing up, and they're just there, well, I have news flash for you. That is not friendship. You are just a fan, my friend. Here's one thing you need to understand. In your 30s, nobody has time for one-sided relationship. I had to let go of some of the friendship that I knew they will last forever and ever, and I'm fine. And I promise you, letting go of those one-sided relationships or a friendship that doesn't align with your current state of life, you are gonna be okay. You'll be making rooms for other people who are willing and waiting to be your friends. I know sometimes letting go of some friendship is gonna hurt. Hurt just takes time. It's just gonna be a matter of time and you're gonna bounce back 1,000 times better. But you know what's gonna hurt more if you keep staying in that relationship? Knowing every day you go to sleep that you are the one who cares more and they wouldn't move a muscle if the situation was reversed. That hurts as a motherfucker. Here's one thing I would rather have: a small circle with solid friendship. Because at the end of the day, quantity means nothing if it's not a quality relationship. Number 6, you are not a therapist in every relationship. Okay, I know that's tough, and I know that we want to be there for people, and I know that you want to offer a helping hand. But every day, every single relationship, every single situation, it's you. Every conversation, it's their drama, their problem, their situationships. It's them. Every single day. Isn't that exhausting? And that's not even a relationship. That's therapy. And guess what? You're not even charging by the hour. Being supportive of your friends or the people around you, that is not to be mistaken as you being an emotional dumping ground. You can care without carrying their burdens. Boundaries protect the relationships. Remember that. Number 7, you're with somebody who's ready, not somebody you're trying to make ready. If you're in your 30s and you want the relationship, the marriage, the kids, the house with the picket fences, whatever your version is, you need to be with somebody who is in the same page, wanting the exact same thing. Not somebody who is maybe in a few years. I'm not sure yet. I'm still finding myself. What are you? You're 30. What are you finding yourself in your 30? And if they're not ready, that's fine. You just don't have to be there while they're figuring out what they want. I wasted a lot of my 20s with men. Well, those weren't men, they were boys. With boys trying to act cool, trying to play the long game. Maybe they will figure out. Maybe they will think I'm good enough. My whole idea in a relationship was I was going to be that cool, laid-back chick so that they could pick me. It was just like the worst kind of pick-me behavior, and I was tolerating things I had no business tolerated, all for the sake of maybe he'll change his mind, maybe he'll be ready someday. So if you're in your 20s and you're in a situation where you're with a person and they are still not sure about you, I'll let you on a little secret. Guys know exactly what they want. They just play this dumb role like, guys don't know. No, they do. Very earlier on. Find any person in your circle who's in a very happy, committed relationship and ask the guy when they knew. I promise you, they knew the first month in. The latest, the third month, they was like, okay, this is the one. Men can be cruel. They know exactly you're not the one, but they won't let you go. They'll just take you for a ride until their person they want comes along and they're gone. Because you've seen people who have been in a relationship for 6, 7, 10 years, and then later they get out of that relationship without anything substantial. They meet a new person, 6 months they're married. In a year they have a kid. And this is the same person you were waiting with for 10 years. Girl, stand up. If somebody is ready, I promise you, you do not need to convince them. If you're in a situationship where you're waiting for somebody's son or daughter to decide if you're worth committing, just pack your bags and go. Then being somebody's bookmark. All right, so one more category, the future. Invest in yourself financially. I'm talking about classes, courses, books, therapy, whatever it is that you need to grow, invest in it. One thing I can stand on 10 toes down is I have never felt guilty on spending money to invest on me, be it on beauty or skills. Some people struggle with spending money on themselves. I hope you hear me when I say this. You are worth it. Spend that money on yourself. Invest on yourself. Invest on your future. Here's one thing I want you to take away from my learning. Any single money that was spent on me has come back 10 times fold. The therapy that helped me to understand my communication and my behavioral patterns, priceless. The classes that taught me how to launch Elevate, worth every penny. 30s is when you actually choose yourself and you start investing in yourself. Invest in yourself like you would in a business, because what? You are your own business. Number 9, have your own money. You need to have money that's just yours. Not our money, your money. You need to have something that belongs to you. Your own bank account, your own savings, your own investments. And this doesn't mean that you do not trust your partner. I need you to do it because you trust yourself. Financial independence is a non-negotiable. You have to understand there's a difference between being with a person because you want to, or being with a person because you can't afford not to. Those are two different things. And if I had to advise you, choose want, always. Number 10, make sure you're building something in your 30s. I love that a lot of Gen Zs have gotten into the whole making their own side hustle, which is something that I wish I could have done earlier. Use your 20s to build something that your 30s will thank you for. If you're in your 30s and you haven't started, build something. And no, it doesn't always have to be a business, but it has to be something that is yours. So it could be a portfolio, a side hustle, a skill, a creative practice, a network, something. Just make sure you're building something for the love of God. And that thing has to be something that exists outside your job, your relationship, and something that does not need anyone's approval. Something that you can look at and be, that is mine. I did that. One thing you're going to realize is the life that you want doesn't just happen to you. You build it. And every day you're not building, guess what? You're settling. So I'm going to ask you today, what are you building? These are the non-negotiables and these are the standards. And if you're looking at me thinking, girl, you're asking for a lot, good. And so should you. Ask the universe for the moon and the stars, because what? The universe meets you at the level of your audacity. So here's what I want you to do after listening to this episode. Grab your phone, your journal, your notebook, a piece of paper, whatever it is, and write down your non-negotiables. And no, this doesn't mean to write things that you think they should be or they sound good. Write the things that you actually want to build the life you imagined. And then start protecting them. People will test your non-negotiable. People will guilt you into stuff. And some will even make you feel like you're being too much. Tell you what? Let them. You do not need to apologize for knowing what you want. You don't need to negotiate for things that matter the most to you. And you most definitely do not need to settle. Not now, not ever. And that's it for today's episode. Remember, you can actually have it all. You don't need to apologize for it. I'm Kimmy, and this is Kimmy Unfiltered. If this episode hit home, share it with somebody who needs to hear it the most. Until next Thursday, bye! Oh, and one more thing. If you wrote your non-negotiables after this episode, tag me, send me a DM. I would like to cheer you on. I'll see you guys on the next one.